Thank you. Okay, well, welcome to the Brackley Town Council Finance meeting, Tuesday the 15th of July. The agenda's been sent out, so we'll start on item 1, apologies for absence.
Apologies from Councillors Chapman and Howard.
Noted. Thank you. Confirmation of the minutes of the meeting held on the 17th of June. They have been sent out. They are in front of you. On the just action points, I noticed we still haven't actually signed the for the unitary bank. We need to do that one, don't we?
Yeah, we need to do that.
Otherwise, risk assessment we're doing covering later. Any other points on the minutes of the last meeting? Everyone having? All agreed? Thank you. 3 is declaration of members' interest to receive any pecuniary or other registrable interest relating to items on the agenda to declare those. See none of those, so that's good. Item 4 is the budget financial report for the 30th of June, which we're still putting on Dave on this one, so I'll leave it to you, Dave.
Very quick this time round. It's the same format as per normal, so it's all sort of hopefully understandable. The only thing I would draw attention to is that the beach hut was quite a key part of the budgets, and I gather there's not much happening there at the moment, but just for information.
Are you talking about the income we get from the beach hut?
It really was when the beach hut was sold, some would come back into the pot, and the rest would go to community purposes.
Right.
So it is an integral part of the budget. So obviously, if that isn't so, then it's going to have an impact. But
has there been any interest?
There has been 2 or 3 people looking at it, but nobody gets to it.
Are we overpriced?
Anyway, that's just for information, really. The big ticket item was the boat park. So obviously, we're in uncharted waters, but so we, because of the VAT issue, we dropped the budget to a net gain of 22,500, and we're not there at the moment, but there's still time. So again, it's a big chunk, so we need to sort of address that, and I think that's going to crop up in our various the working party, which looks at these sort of things. The only other thing is, which isn't, I think a bit later on we're going to consider some of the fees to look after the improved drainage, well, to design the new drainage on the Roe Park fields. Item 44 on the sheet is development services. That's what development services was about, so that if we've got to spend some money to in preparation of doing some work or getting grants or something, that's what it was for. So that would be a good pot to raid for that purpose. That's what its intent was. Other than that, it's business as usual. Really, because of the seasonal nature of what we do, then it's the half year when you need to look at this a bit more carefully and see where we're going and what's happening and the trends and that sort of thing. So,
2 months.
so that's all on that one. If there's any questions.
Any questions?
Can I just ask you about the boat park? We're not showing any income, but surely we've spoken to them.
The situation is that last year we got £10,000, got 9,800, effectively in advance for this year's monies.
I see.
And there is then this year we received some money, but less than £1,000, but then started signing invoices. So at the moment, I would have said we're at about 17,000, something like that. But there's some issues how we sort the software out. It's effectively last was a prepayment of this year, this sort of thing. So we're on that. But really, to put it in perspective, we've estimated a net of 20,500, and we're at about 17,000, 17,500. So we need to consider Ms. Morgan doing various things, which I think is on the agenda.
It is on the agenda.
Right, okay. Sorry, I understand.
Any other comments? John?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okey dokey. So that covers all of it, your credit control, all that, done that?
I think Tracy normally does.
Yeah, the financial monthly overview for June, just to confirm, income during June was £10,974.57, and expenditure for June was £35,701.80.
They have a sheet in front of you, I'm sure. Any comments on that? Thank you. So we'll move on to the credit controller, which you have in front of you. And I noticed there's quite a lot of, obviously amounts for the boat park, which we'll obviously talk about later. Can I just pick up on one thing, on the last page, we seem to have RG Prentice, Cherry Tree,
Town guides.
Country. Yeah, there's no amounts across the due dates, the late dates, it's just got the amount at the end. So if it's got total overdue naught, there's a total due 150, how does that work?
I don't know, I'd have to ask Rich,
That's what I asked.
the accounts package people.
Don't get that.
Yeah, no, if you go, there's nothing,
There's nothing on some.
except for there.
You're talking about how out of date they are.
No, it says the,
Nothing.
It doesn't say the
Age.
total number of days due,
and
how
then,
overdue it is, it's just got the total due at the end.
I thought that was because last meeting we decided to write it off.
We decided to write the cherry tree off,
yeah,
Oh,
because
that
they,
has got to be written off.
yeah, but not apprentices.
No,
No.
no, they're still being chased.
so could you just look into that, because that doesn't make sense.
Actually, if you go along and down the total overdue, there's quite a few zeros.
Yeah.
That are zero right away across the
That's what I'm
page,
saying.
but it's, all the way through, it's not just at the end.
Yeah.
Even the top page has got it.
Okay.
Brightsea Electrical Services says £84, but there's nothing due any. Well, it's a glitch in the software.
Yeah, glitch.
That's not what it is.
Now, we don't like glitches.
And
Really auspicious, darling.
can I just go back to write-offs? There are a few, there's a couple of boat park that are listed on here that needs to be written off where people pay for 2.5 months and then they don't want it anymore. There's some allotments where they've been invoiced, but they don't no longer want the allotment, but it's been handed out to somebody else. We still have a Mr. Hooley outstanding for the Heritage Pier.
Okay.
Does that need writing off, or does that need?
I'm happy to sit with Tracy and Julie and look at each one, and if you want, I'm happy to ring each of them up to change the account, and make a decision about writing it off if it's no hope getting it, there's no point spending loads of money. So I'm happy to do that, so if you say that, I'll come in and do that.
Can we just make a point though, that I think we need to make a decision about one thing, and that is, things like allotments and boat parks and things like that. And there's some other things as well, I'm sure. Normally these are done on a yearly basis. And if they pay for the year, they pay for the year. There's not a case of, I only stay 3 months, so can I have 3/4 of it back? It seems to me in a couple of cases, people have expected their money back because they've not used it for the whole year. I just want to confirm the policy is that these things are rented for the whole year.
They're rented for the whole year, but sometimes we've got lots of spaces and they're empty, so there's 30 spaces. Somebody says, I'd like to have, it's just August, July and August for the summer holiday. We would then give them a price for that, which is more than that 2 months in our advantage.
Right.
Because it's might as well have it rather than not have it. But however, we do not give refunds if people want to cash back in or come out, because it's the same as a hotel room. You can't get up at 3 in the morning and want a refund for the bit you're not there.
No, well,
So it's the same
You can't have an
principle.
allotment, can you? I mean, it's a
Exactly.
growing thing.
Yeah.
I just have for the harvest.
So
So that's the thing. So in other words, if people pay the full price, we will not refund part if they're going to hand it back. But if somebody comes in, we've got a space, we've got plenty of space, if somebody wants it for a specific time, we do give them a higher price than the 2 months they want. In other words,
Right, that's very
it's
specific.
just using
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, just that's noted really.
And if it's all right with everybody, I'll sit with Julie and Tracy and do a morning, ring it round all these people, see if I can get them to get their credit card out.
Keep tough.
Don't see a problem with that. Anything else on credit control? Anything on credit control, guys? Nothing? We move on, examining the accounts. So we're looking for two members to examine the accounts.
That's what I'm doing.
Right, John? John, anybody else? Well, I'm here later, so I can do it with you if you want.
Do you just want me to confirm that you will be 15 payments in the sum of £8,581 and 1 pence are to be authorised, and we have, out of those payments we have already paid £663 12 pence. And just to confirm that the statements of balances on the bank accounts are as follows: current account £37,208.94 pence, premium account £28,744.13. The second premium account, £843.81. The public sector deposit fund, £51,547.13. Instant access account, £43,380.95. And the current T2 account, £55,467.89. And that makes a total on all accounts of £217,192.85. Income for June, £10,974.57. Expenditure for June, £35,701.80. Income to date, 1st of April to 30th of June, was £200,331.78, and expenditure to date, £120,347.57. And employee payments paid for June were £18,329.26.
Thank you. And obviously, John, I'll check all that.
Thank
Do you
you.
want to do that
Council.
today or?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
After this?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
I was going to say something, but I can't find it. I'm sorry. It's like a long plain stuck record. I noticed that we've got yet another bill for Ventric.
Yes, that's for the brush.
It seems to be every month we get. a fairly
No,
hefty
that's
bill.
because of all the sand and everything that was clogged up in the brush and the electrical equipment, which Councillor Barry tried to get some money back from Tendring to help as it's cleaning the beach, which is
Did we get
Tendring's
the
land.
Like I say, it's a long plain record.
It's a fantastic machine, and the boys use it a lot.
Yeah.
It's the first go-to machine, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so we now move on to risk assessment document. Chris?
Well, we haven't quite finished it yet. We've got right way through it. There are a couple of things that we've got to sort out. One specifically is that we have to have cover for our clerk. The current answer is that we have cover in the sense that Julie will fill in. But I think actually if you look at what the real assessment is, it's as if Tracy is out of the game for 3 or 4 months, not a couple of days. And I think I've suggested that Tracy that talks to maybe a friendly other council and basically writes into our risk register that we can go to them when we need assistance should she be away. So it gets us covered like that. And it seems to be. I mean, it's not a likely thing, but it needs to go on the paperwork.
That's good.
So that's one, and there's a couple of others that we're looking at that don't make sense in the sense that we risk rated extremely high that we won't pay our taxes. Which I think is not quite right. So there's a couple of spurious ones. And then there's the other ones that we've added. We've added a number, one of which is the landlord's responsibilities for repairing the building and things like that. And we're rating that. I've got to ask Dave what he thinks is the risk on that. But the fact is that these things change regularly. So So we need to keep a risk register on that saying where we're going to, but there is a chance that we might miss the regulation. So there is a risk in that. But it's just really trying to turn the thing into something that's real rather than theoretical. So there's a number of little ones like that, and Rick and I and Tracy are going to go through them again.
So we've changed quite a few, haven't we?
Yeah, but it's beginning to look like it's a real thing rather than just a piece of policy paper that doesn't mean anything.
Somebody's just wrong.
So I hope that would be ready for the next finance meeting and therefore the next council meeting.
Just might worth saying that this year's the first year we've actually budgeted for landlords improvements.
Yeah.
To cover those very points. And this year's going to be, the whole budget will be consumed by playgroup, but it is now a budgetary item that should be replicated every year.
Right, all joints up. Gracious me.
Gosh, it's taken a while, hasn't it?
We are getting organised, which is good. Okay, so that's a risk assessment document. Another comments on that one, so we move on to pricing policy. It has been sent out to everybody. I mean, basically, we were looking at pricing of things and charges of the council, particularly as we are talking about memorial plaques and people having seats and things like that. But I think the feeling is that this should be looked at with the working group, which is going to meet. In fact, we're going to start meeting after this meeting. Is that the feeling of everybody here? That it's something that needs a bit more time than just a committee meeting to go through each item and perhaps individuals take certain items and go back and look at them and report. But just generally, and also I think we need to just be mindful of what other councils are charging for similar services. So just make sure we're up to date. Does that seem to be okay?
Yes, I've done a little bit of research on it. I asked a couple of other councillors from other councillors. They seem to have a policy that, I don't quote because I can't remember the numbers, but it's like whatever it costs us, we add 10%, 15%, 20%, something like that. So there's something for them, for the administration. And then I asked them, well, what do you do about when you have to do something? So they've said that they've calculated a true labour rate plus a margin, and that goes on automatically. So instead of having, I'm not making this up, but instead of having a communal seat and the price for that, what it is communal seat plus their percentage, fitting it so many hours at that rate, and that's how the pricing does. And he said that also means it's quite open for the consumer, whoever that is, to look at it.
The standard retailing measure is they'll take the cost of an item and they'll times it by double for the admin cost. It's not just Terry's labour, it's also part of the central admin cost of admin. And then another third again for margin. That's the standard item pricing. I mean, I'm not saying the council should do that, but
I think that might be the difference between commercial and.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you need to build a leeway in because we're not council.
Yeah. Yes, but I think it's important to understand those
It
elements.
is. I think it's a really good thing that it goes to a working group. So the working group can thrash out all these things out and then present it as a paper.
I just said there's two sets, one's retail formula, the other one from a contracted situation. You add a little bit on materials cost, you put a bit more of the labour cost, and then you decide what your profit's going to be. So there's different ways of looking at it, which applies to different items. So one of them is sort of profit, I think, there's a very, but it's very simple. I mean,
I don't think profit's a dirty word.
No.
We must bear in mind that we exist in the town, but profit is not a dirty word, but we must cover our expenses.
it's actually, sorry, John, it's actually, it's an overhead.
Okay, yeah, an overhead.
Can I just say, I think a really important thing is consistency.
Yes.
So that this person turns up and gets the same deal as this person that turns up 3 weeks earlier.
Yes, and that's what we did the pricing policy, so it's all written down, everyone knows what the price is, and they say yay or nay to it. Okay, does everyone happy with that? So the working party, we've already agreed on the last committee meeting that it would be Chris, Dave, myself and Jane was going to be. Jane unfortunately is not here today. But we thought we might have a quick meeting after this meeting, to start to look at the parameters of what or the working party could look at, and perhaps taking individual items for individuals to go away and look at and come back to the working party. So there'll be some time to understand that. Everyone happy with that? Moving on then to the emergency maintenance work, we had a problem with a tree, which Terry Hill was alerted to, which is at the back end of the Avon Park. I think it was on it was next to the walkway where the public footpath was.
Yeah, I've been down there the day it happened, and had a look at it.
Yeah.
It was across the path,
Yeah.
so Terry's cut what he could reach, so people could walk, but still, Terry's estimation, 2 or 3 tons of wood was still above it, so he called in a tree surgeon.
Yeah.
Who did it the next day.
And I think there's a cost of £800 because they have to use all the right gear to go up top,